So continues to be filled, as does my message box, with different economic experts from largely from the establishment saying right before our eyes, even though the coverage has moved on a bit, Trump is ruining the world economy and the American economy. And they marshal various theories and statistics to make that point. Here's one that multiple people have sent me, and it's caught my eye. This would be the tourism one, number 107. Okay. Um, I don't know why tourists are not coming to the United States now, whether they're hostile to America or they think they'll be attacked or they just don't have, they're worried about the money. But you can see, and it's a little bit hard to read, but you can see these are airport, arrivals into the United States, and you can see the trend plunging downward. This is a problem because, of course, many communities in the United States rely on money from tourists. State governments rely on the taxes that those folks pay, and cities check into a hotel and pay some crazy tax, resort tax, or whatever it is. So, um, and I can tell you that in governors' offices, including Republican governors' offices, they are well aware that this is happening and the dangers of it. So we've seen, for instance, after 9/11, we've seen presidents do things to promote tourism and say, please come to America. Dan, if you were the Commerce Secretary or the head of the Tourism Association, what would you be asking Donald Trump to do to try to turn that around?
Well, I think one, I don't think the economy is necessarily as bad as some people are doom and glooming it. I do think there are worrying signs out there. I think this is similar to what we talked about yesterday with these trade deals, which is it's really hard to kind of, as Sean very passionately made the case for yesterday, kind of all the ways we've been wronged, all the problems in the world, and kind of be very aggressive and then turn around and say, but we love you and we welcome you and like come to Vegas. And it people feel like
Why,
they
why do
feel
you think why do you think they're not coming? Why do you think people are canceling their trips to
well, look,
America?
I can't say for sure, but
What speculate away? I don't
sure.
know what
I
the
mean,
answer
look,
is.
would you want to go somewhere where they're constantly saying, like Canadians,
If
where
they
you're
had if they
belittling
had
our government? You're
if they had Disney World and the Miracle Mile in Vegas, sure I would. Major League Baseball, New
well, I
York
mean, look, you
City.
see stories in Canada. You see the Canadian government kind of saying, we are proud people. We're not going to
Yeah,
take this. We're not going to be bullied. And it's anecdotal, but in these
right.
stories, you hear like Canadians saying, I don't want to be in Florida right now. Like,
But
I don't.
it's not just anecdotal. The data is
Well,
there.
I know, but you said like, I mean, I don't know for
Yeah.
sure why someone
All
makes a
right.
decision, but
Yeah. Sean, should the president be tourist director in chief and try to convince people to come, given how big a part of the American economy that is?
I was just looking up the exchange rate to the euro. I mean, it actually seems like a good deal to come right now.
Yes, it is a good
Um,
deal to come.
I mean, look, I also looked at that chart. It seems like there's been the last month. I think some of it, and depending on the country, that chart up on the right, if I recall, was Mexico. I have a feeling that there's a little bit of a concern there. I get that one. On the Europe one, I think that there's probably a little bit more to look at. Why? But I think you know, trends, you got to look at what the underlying causes are. I mean, I think it's one thing for certain countries that might have a fear of immigration coming in and being deported or something, but I think there's also a little bit more that we've got to figure out before. If I were, to your point, the Commerce Secretary, I'd be saying, get me more data. What's going on? The exchange rate looks good. Why is this an issue? But I mean, before I were to jump in and speculate, I think that's got the U.S. travel and other major organizations probably have pretty solid data on that.